Hi, I'm Jeanette from Roots of Idrisil. I've been asked to put together a routine for International Women's Day, so I'm going to concentrate on a chair-based exercise to help you with the pain in your neck and your upper back that you've probably developed over the last year while you've been working at home, hunched over the table.
Anyway, we're going to go on to the first exercise, which is canoeing.
Oh, this is my least favourite exercise ever.
Sit up straight with your feet flat on the floor.
Yes.
Imagine you're holding a paddle. Or something for your cauldron. Hold your left hand a few inches in front of your right and have it out in front of your left shoulder. Now pretend you're paddling by pulling your hand down towards your right hip. Return to the starting position, repeat on the other side, and we're just going to go for a minute.
And don't forget to breathe. And Simon's going to tell you what this will be doing.
So what this exercise is going to be doing is helping to strengthen the muscles in the upper back, primarily the rhomboids, the mid and lower trapezius. And Jeanette, try and keep your head steady as you're doing this.
Sorry, I'm pretending I'm paddling. That's how I get wet. We go canoeing.
But yeah, this is really good for everyone who's been hunched over a desk. And if you wonder why I'm doing the voice for all this kind of stuff, it's simple. Jeanette told me I have to.
Girl power.
So yeah, that's canoeing. Now we're just going to move on to the next exercise. Now the second exercise is the sternocleidomastoid self-massage. Unfortunately,
you can't say that when you've had a drink, can you?
I can't say when I'm sober. So with this one, it's very important to avoid any pulsing areas or any unnatural pains, but all you're going to do is locate your SCM, so turn your head to the side, and you'll see a muscle that goes from behind the ear all the way down to the collarbone in like a B form. V. Yeah, you can see it all sticking out at the side of Jeanette's neck. Yeah, so all you're going to do is pinch and press into it with your fingers, and you're going to do that for 30 seconds on each side, rubbing and massaging it up and down the muscle. This loosens the muscle up because this becomes overactive when you're sat over a desk or over a kitchen table or reading or watching TV, and it starts to support all the weight of your head. And yes, we have a dog.
Sorry. Oh dear, I think the postman's arrived.
Switch to the other shoulder, but you want to go all the way up and down the muscle, not just concentrating at the top. So go all the way down towards the collarbone with it.
As easy to can do with that hand instead.
Yeah.
That's better.
Pinch, rub, roll. Anyway, that's the sternocleidomastoid self-massage, and now we're going to just move on to the next exercise in the routine. So the other muscle that becomes really overactive when we're sat at a computer and we're not at a proper desk setup is the levator scapula. Now, the next exercise is a levator scapula stretch. So place your hands behind your back. Well, one of your hand behind your back. Now tilt your nose to bring it towards the opposite shoulder's armpit. So if your right hand's behind your back, bring your nose towards your left armpit. Now you should feel a stretch in the shoulder at the back of your neck. Can you show them where?
I can. Oh, sorry, there.
Yep. Now all you're going to do is hold that for 30 seconds, then repeat on the opposite side. Now this is a really good way of getting rid of those pain in the necks, tension, headaches.
Or just send them to school.
Well, when lockdown's finished, they can. Now just change sides. But fun fact that's not so fun, women are more likely to suffer from neck pain than men, and if you're under times of stress, you're even 1.5 times more likely to suffer from neck pain, and it can last for up to a year, sometimes over. And what it does is it leaves you feeling dizzy with tension headaches, further affects your stress levels. So doing little things like that will help to rebuild the muscles around the neck and help reduce the stress and stop you from getting headaches. Anyway, that's the levator scapula stretch. Now we're moving on to the next exercise. This exercise that we're moving on to is the sternocleidomastoid stretch. So sit on one of your hands. Now turn your head towards the hand that you're sitting on and gently tilt your head backward until you feel a stretch throughout the front of the neck. So turn your head to the arm you're sat on and move your head backwards.
Like that?
Yeah, can you feel the stretch at the front of the neck? Where can you feel it?
Down here.
Yep. So sternocleidomastoid, the one that you just massaged.
Yeah.
Hold that for 30 seconds and repeat on the opposite side. Again, this combined with the levator scapula stretch and the self-massage will really help reduce tension headaches and make you more productive.
It doesn't look as though you're doing anything, but believe me, you are.
And switch.
So tilt your head
backwards.
And then tilt it backwards.
Yeah, so turn it to face the hand you sat on, then tilt the head backwards as far as you can.
Yeah. Now I must be stiffer on that side because I can really feel that stretch.
Yeah, but you're right-handed, right?
Yeah.
So which arm do you put your handbag on?
That one.
Yeah. Which is one of the reasons that women have more neck pain, because you wear handbags and men are lucky to have pockets. So if your husband says that you've been a bit of a pain in the neck, just turn around to him and say, well, I'm more likely to suffer from a pain in the neck because of people like you. With my mum, though, it's me that gives her a pain in the neck. Anyway, moving on to the next stretch, which is the armpit stretch. Sit with your back straight. Rotate your head sideways so that the nose is directly above your armpit. Directly above your armpit.
That's my armpit.
Yes. Now hold the back of your head with your hand and use it to push your neck closer to your armpit, like that.
Oh, this one.
Yeah. Now push your head closer towards your armpit.
Oh, I like that.
And don't push, if you feel any discomfort, don't push any harder. Just hold it when you feel the stretch for 30 seconds.
That's a nice one.
And switch to the opposite side.
So look at your shoulder, down to your armpit.
Imagine that you're posing for a magazine.
Why?
You've seen the magazines where people are always standing in a similar position to that, haven't you?
No.
Try to keep your back straight, by the way.
It's alright. I'm not sure which magazines you watch or read.
I'm sure you've seen the model pose where they turn their head to the side and they're all glammy.
No, can't say that I have.
Fair enough. Anyway, that's how you do the armpit stretch. Moving on now to the chest stretch. Sit upright with your back away from the back of the chair.
Yes.
Pull your shoulders back and down and extend your arms to the side as far as you can. Now gently push your chest forward and feel the chest the stretch across the middle of the chest.
Yeah.
Can you feel that?
Yeah.
And hold that for 30 seconds. The chest muscles become quite tight when you're sat at a kitchen table or away from a proper desk working. So what happens is this loosens the chest muscles up and it allows the muscles at the back of the body to then tighten themselves up a little bit and reaffirm your posture back to its natural state. Over the last year of knockdown, a lot of you will have noticed your shoulders rounding forwards and starting to develop pain between the shoulder blades. These exercises that we're going through today are the best way to counteract that with about 15 minutes at home. Anyway, that has been the chest stretch. Now we're going to move on to something called the lateral wall press, and for this one you're going to have to stand up, unfortunately.
That's fine, I can do that.
And as you can probably see, I've had to do a bit of bad camera work. Now stand about 2 feet away from the wall.
Facing it?
Yep. Now hinge your hips and bend forwards.
Where do my feet go?
About shoulder width apart.
Okay.
Now hinge your hips, bend forwards.
Woo.
Now bring your palms up to the wall about hip height. So basically if you can hinge lower, 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 keep your arms straight. And you should feel a stretch in your lats.
Yes, I can.
Yep, now you just hold that stretch for 30 seconds. Now those of you who are a little bit more flexible, what you'll want to do is have it so that your arms are completely straight out in front of you, but Jeanette's got the flexibility of a box.
Of a what?
A box.
It's an ox.
An ox is just about right. But yeah, that's how you do the hip wall stretch. Lateral wall press, sorry. So now we're going to move on to something called a spinal extension, which is where you're going to be stood up still. So you're going to stand up straight with your arms at your sides. Now inhale as you slowly stand up as tall as possible, bringing those shoulders up. And as you exhale, slowly relax the back and chest, bringing it back down again. And you're going to repeat that 10 times, just up as high as you can. Stretch that spine out, and then lower down again. That's 2. 8 more. 3.
This is quite relaxing actually.
4. Well, that's the point, is to deal with stress in the back and stress in general. So what this one does, it helps stabilise the spine, and it also helps to get all that range of motion in the spinal cord itself. Little things like this make big differences. And if you do it with your eyes closed and just think of something that you enjoy, it can become quite relaxing as well. Jeanette normally does this before she comes and slaps me.
How many is that?
8. I wasn't counting. 9. 10. And that was spinal extensions. Now you're going to have to stay up for the next one as we move on to chin tuck. So for the chin tuck, place 2 fingers at the bottom of your chin, like so. She looks like a turtle. Gently tuck your chin in and retract your head backwards, and at the same time use your fingers to keep your chin tucked in. Hold in the end position for 3 seconds, relax your neck, and repeat 10 times.
This is not an elegant exercise to do, by the way. And you'll hear crunching down your neck.
So if you feel a crunching down your neck, that means that you've got a misalignment.
I've got a misalignment.
Because you've got a pain in the neck behind the camera.
7, 8, 9, and 10.
And then we're going to stick to this theme and move on to the next exercise, which is neck tilts. So tilt your head down to rest on your chin on your chest. Now tense the muscles gently and hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Return to a neutral position, which is standing up straight, and repeat 10 times.
Where are my arms?
Wherever you feel comfortable. Squeeze, 4, 3, 2, 1, and up. That's 2. That's 3. She looks like a nodding dog.
Okay, later. 4.
For International Women's Day, we've been asked to do this for the committee again to help with everyone who's got neck or back problems. If there's anything you want to see, please follow us on our Facebook page, Roots of Idrisil CIC. We try and have a good laugh when we're making these videos and try to stay as far from being serious as possible. And
This is the most serious we've been for ages.
yeah.
Wait.
And one of the things that we will say now is that as part of the International Women's Day video that we're putting together here, anyone who has any comments to make about this on Facebook, we're going to let you pick an exercise, any exercise you can think of that doesn't require weight, and make me do it.
Oh, good. Oh, I can think of several.
Anyway, that was the neck tilt, and we're moving on to the next exercise. So the next exercise is called isometric neck strengthening. Now we can either stand up or sit down for
I'm going to
this.
sit down. I've stood up for too long. Oh.
So sit straight in your chair and place your hand against the back of your head and bring your other hand behind it as well. Now all you're going to do is try and push your head backwards against the resistance of your hands.
Yeah.
Now push as hard as you can for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax and repeat 3 times.
Okay.
So again, it doesn't look as though you're doing much, but
You can feel it.
yeah. So while you were stretching out all the muscles at the front of the neck earlier, now you're tightening up all the muscles at the back of the neck and the cervical spine. So this will help stabilise the cervical spine and help prevent neck pain, tension, headaches. One of the interesting things about the cervical spine, by the way, because I love the nerdy stuff, is that when it starts to bend forward or go out of position, what you'll find is that it leads to a decrease in your proprioception, it causes more stress, more tension within the neck, but it can have a cascading effect. So, for example, you have an imbalance in the cervical spine that causes your balance to go off because lack of proprioception, and within 3 or 4 years' time, that imbalance within the neck could have caused you to have a knee injury, or an ankle injury, or a back injury. The human body is amazing like that. And one of the reasons that we're doing these exercises now is because this is one of the second most common problem behind back pain. Well, third technically, because it goes stress, back pain, neck pain. So we're doing your back and your neck, and stress, so all 3 in one routine. Aren't we brilliant?
I'm modest.
Definitely not. I get it from my mum. Anyway, on to the next exercise. That was isometric strengthening for the back. And now we're moving on to the isometric neck strengthening for the side of the neck. So this time I want you to sit up straight in your chair and bend your neck to the side with one hand against it for resistance and push for 10 seconds, then relax and repeat 3 times. So she's not pushing her head down to one side, she's trying to push the head against the hand.
Against it.
Now the interesting thing about this is your body won't physically let you push too hard or not hard enough. Your arm will only offer the amount of resistance that it can instead of trying to force you to do away because your body doesn't want you to hurt yourself.
Right. Okay.
And when you've done it 3 times on that side, you're going to repeat on the other.
Yes, I know. Okay. Again, it doesn't look as though you're doing anything, but you can definitely feel it working.
Yeah. So if you just take your hand away a second from the head, show them what you're doing with your head.
I'm pushing my head that way,
Yeah.
and I'm pushing my hand that way.
Yeah.
And you can feel it. Okay. Okay.
Anyway, we're now going to move on to the next exercise, which is the seated row. So for the seated row, I would like you to scoot forward to the edge of your chair this time, Jeanette.
I'm scooted.
Now you should have your feet flat on the floor,
Flat
but
on the floor.
I've not got your feet in the shot anyway. So hold your arms out in front of you, straight, with your thumbs pointing up towards the ceiling and your elbows slightly bent. Now draw your elbows back and squeeze those shoulder blades together until your arms are in line with your body. And then extend your arms forwards and repeat 10 times. Slowly. Try and keep your arms level while you're doing it. Which, I asked for coordination, I knew I was never going to get this. Choo choo!
And 10.
And now we're going to move on to the next exercise, which is a strengthening exercise called the shoulder blade squeeze. Now, when you're doing a shoulder blade squeeze, you can either stand up or sit down. I'll let you choose.
I'm going to stay sat down if you don't mind.
Okay. Now have your arms down straight by your sides. Hold your arms out in front of you a little bit with your thumbs pointed towards the ceiling and your elbows slightly bent, so down towards the sides, about there. Now draw your elbows back, squeezing the shoulder blades together until your arms are in line with your body.
Like that?
Yep. Arms straight down by your sides, so rotate. That's better, yeah.
Like that?
Yeah. And then rotate your thumb back towards the wall. Can you feel that more now?
I've got it now, yeah. 1.
Yeah.
How many?
10.
Control movements. 5. And don't forget to breathe. 6. 7. 8. 9.
Hold for a count of 2 if you can at the back to squeeze them properly.
10. You didn't say that earlier.
That's the progression onto it.
Ah.
So the longer you squeeze the shoulder blades together, the more effective it becomes. Anyway, we're going to move on to an integration exercise yet, and I'm going to watch Jeanette suffer through the desk angel. So, desk angels.
I like the desk angel.
You like the desk angel?
Yeah. I don't know if I can do it right, but I like it.
Sit up straight in your chair. Now place your arms at shoulder level with a 90-degree bend at your elbows, like so. Now, keeping your head and torso stationary. Your torso is your upper body, Jeanette.
Yes, dear.
Slowly move your arms overhead, reaching your hands towards the ceiling. Try and keep your arms in line with your ears as you're doing this. And then go back to the starting position and squeeze your mid back together. You should feel a little bit of pulling in the middle of your back, and this helps to relax the spine a little.
2.
So what this one does, well, the first lot of exercises...
What are you doing?
10.
3.
So while the first lot of exercises were helping to stretch out the muscles that are overactive, and the second batch of exercises were there to try and activate the muscles that are underactive, which means tightening them. What this one does as an integration exercise is it rebuilds the neural pathways between the brain and the muscle groups themselves. So what that does is gets all the muscles activated in the right order and reaffirms everything else that you've done on a subconscious level so that you can reap the benefits for the rest of the day. Now, doing this routine 3 times a week for 6 weeks, you should see a lot of the problems that you've had develop over lockdown get sorted out. Otherwise, though, just go out for a run.
Or a walk.
Or a walk. Anyway, Jeanette, you're going to have to stand up for the next exercise. So, this exercise, the YTWL, you're going to have to stand up, unfortunately. So you can either do this facing the camera or side on, it's up to you, Jeanette.
I'm going to do it facing camera if you don't mind.
Okay, so hinge down at your hips, bending your knees a little bit, keeping your back straight. Now bring your arms up into a Y position, like you do in the YMCA, into a T position, into a W position. Bend your elbow a little bit more on the right hand side.
Won't.
No, okay, and up into an L position.
It won't.
I'm going to come into it, keep going through it, and I'm going to correct you as you go along.
I don't want you to do that.
T.
T.
So W is that.
Y. T.
You're just going to do this 10 times.
L.
Jeanette's got very rounded shoulders. W. L. And no coordination whatsoever.
W.
And if you look closely, Jeanette's Y's are also T's.
W.
And if you can do it sideways on.
T. W.
Show one sideways on. So bend those knees a bit more. Straighten the back out. Bend further forwards at the hips. Bend further forwards. Yeah, now. Y. T. W. L. So that's a YTWL. When you're doing it yourself, you want to try and keep your arms a little bit more flexible.
Sorry, my arms just don't want to go that far up today.
We are professionals, I swear. Anyway, moving on to the next exercise. Oh wait, no, we're finished, aren't we?
Oh, can we just do, I'd just like to add a couple of little hand exercises in. For those of you who do a lot of typing, most of us do it these days. And again, because we're not sat at a proper desk or a proper workstation, we could cause problems for ourselves. So, just 2 simple exercises. First exercise is finger taps.
Finger touches.
Finger touches. So just, I don't know if you can see what I'm doing, but really, I just want you to tap each finger to your thumb, backwards and forwards. These are I love doing hand exercises, but I do have arthritis in my hands and it keeps them mobile. So you need to do that between 30 and 60 seconds.
It's almost as though you know how to do some of these.
Yeah, it's amazing, isn't it? I've only been doing it for 2 years. And I only run classes.
Yeah, the complicated stuff she just leaves to me.
Yeah. I do run Zoom classes, chair-based Zoom classes if you're ever interested in joining us. And we can send you a PDF version of these exercises if you request them. So if you request them, contact us on info@rootsofidrasil.co.uk. So that's one exercise. Second one is just make an O. So I want you to just, and this is like giving your hands a really good yawn. So make an O shape, nice gentle O shape with your fingers, and stretch your fingers, and then close them. Stretch your fingers, do this 10 times, and do this throughout the day whenever your fingers get stiff. 4.
And if you check out our website, we've got a lot of tutorials
6.
on how to deal with different medical conditions through exercise, and we have a weekly blog that goes up every Friday.
9. 10.
And you might, and like Jeanette, you might like the blog where we tell you why you should eat more chocolate.
Yeah, definitely. I like that. Anyway, that's Roots of Yggdrasil, that's Jeanette and Simon. Hope you have a great day and look forward to meeting you all again in the future.
Enjoy.